Hey guys, another Mopar guy here. Do a little recap on the 66 Dodge Dart with the 5.9 Cummins diesel in it. So, as you can see, it's got a 5.9 Cummins in it, and as you're well aware, the 1966 Dart was designed around this engine. This engine is a direct fit. No, I'm just joking, guys. This thing was a monster to get in. I had to cut the entire firewall out, and as you can see, in the cab, I had to cut the inside of the firewall and the tunnel, transmission tunnel, to get everything in. It's still a work in progress, as you can see. Alright, let's go back to the engine. This is a stock 5.9 essentially that came out of a 1994 Dodge Ram dually. Let me go over a little bit about what I've done to the engine. This engine has been, all this modification happened when it was in the Ram. Basically what I've done is I put 100 horsepower injectors. I went through here and the fuel injection pump is a stock pump, still the 12 millimeter pump. I put 191 laser cut fuel delivery valves. I cranked the barrels over about 1/8 of an inch on all of them. A lot of people say you can't do that without bench testing. Well, I went ahead and did it. The return line, I actually changed the spring out, put a tighter spring so I'd get a little bit more pressure going into the fuel pump. I put 5,000 RPM governor springs in there, and the fuel plate itself I completely removed. So I'm getting 100% fuel all the way through my RPMs. I adjusted the let's see, what did I do? What else had I done? I adjusted the pump to 24 degrees. So that's what I've done to the pump. Now let's go, because I'm running twin turbos, stock valves, I went ahead and changed the valve springs to 60-pound valve springs. That's all I've done to here. I took the stock head bolts, I took them out, every one of them, and I greased them both ends, and I tightened them to 145 pounds of torque. Now, let's go over to turbos. I've got a stock H1C turbo that I ported the inside of it out so I get a little bit more air pressure through it, and I'd get a little bit less spooling, so I went over spool because of the boost. And obviously the intake, or the exhaust manifold, has been flipped upside down, and the turbo has been flipped 180 degrees. Now let's look at the big turbo. The big turbo is out of an N14 Cummins. It's a BH1, or excuse me, a BHT3B turbo. And what I've done to this is, a lot of people don't like this turbo because it's got a huge exhaust housing. It's got a 32 centimeter exhaust housing. Essentially it's dual plane, so it's got two sections inside of it. What I did is I actually blocked off one of the sections, so I'm only using half of the exhaust housing, and right now, so looking at about 16 centimeters, just like the stock one, and I get a tremendous amount of spool because I did that. The exhaust, you can tell it's pretty much stock. No, that's a joke. 4-inch all the way down to the outside of the car to 6-inch. Straight exhaust. And right now, with the modifications I've done, when it was in the Dodge Ram, I was getting about 518, 520 horsepower. That was through a jet dyno. And transmission wise, I'm running the stock 47 RH non-electronic stock transmission. I changed out the forward clutches, put an extra 5th clutch in there, and I also am running a triple torque converter on the transmission because I've got a lot more torque going on. And contrary to popular belief, guys, I'm running about 85 pounds of boost. That's what I've maxed out on this engine, and it is not fire ringed. And basically all I did is torque down the head bolts. So contrary to what everybody says on the internet and on the forums, you can actually run a lot of boost to these. These engines are bulletproof. This has seen 85 pounds of boost a lot. So basically that's what I've done. I'm running a stock triple row radiator that's going to be in the front, and I've got a Ford Taurus fan with a fan shroud. It's all electronics, going to sit in the front, and that, I believe the Taurus fans put out about 4,000 CFM, Pretty much everything's going to stay stock, the whole bottom end stock. Of course, I've taken care of the killer dowel pin with just a little metal plate that goes over it inside this, because we don't want anything to destroy the engine while we're out and about. This car is going to be a little bit higher. I'm going to be running a solid straight axle front end, as you can see over here. We're going to do a gas or diesel, so essentially it's going to be a dieseler. This is a 50s front end out of a Chevy, and the back is a Ford 9-inch. It's a 31 spline Ford 9-inch that I've narrowed. I'm going to be running torsion bars on the, or excuse me, traction bars on the back. I'm not going to tub them. I'm going to lift the back up as well, and that's what we're going to get out of this. So I will see you guys the next section of the project. Thank you.